Chapin Christian Community Church. Why is Methodist missing from our name? I have to admit, when I was asked to do this topic, I thought this was the toughest of the topics for me personally. And then I began to understand what better than a person who has gone through all of the emotion, but has begun through research, study, and prayer, has arrived at a place of peace. So I want to start with my story. It's not unlike many of y'all's stories. I often describe myself as a cradle Methodist, born of Methodist parents, christened and accepted Christ in the Methodist Church, educated in a Methodist affiliated school. I'm 81 years old. That's a long time. But for me, it goes deeper than that. The Shelton family has been intertwined with the Methodist Church since the early days of the Methodist Church in America. As English immigrants to Virginia, they were members of the Church of England. Following the Revolutionary War, there was no longer a Church of England in Virginia. At this point, same time in history, the Wesleyan Methodist movement started in Virginia, and the Sheltons joined this new movement, becoming Methodist Episcopal, ultimately Methodist. They were actively involved, even at one point in time hosting Francis Asbury on one of his circuit rides. So I've often thought about the faith that they must have had, having been members of the Church of England for most of their lives, to step out into this new movement called Methodism. It truly must have been an unbreakable faith. So for me, it's in my blood, it's in my heart, it's probably even in my soul. So back to the question, why is Methodist not in our name? After much reading and subsequent discussion in the committee on the way forward, we discussed the good that's still part of the Methodist name. We also discussed the unfortunate baggage that the name carries today, some of it earned, some of it unearned. All the media about the friction within the United Methodist Church has added to it. But in reality, it's broader than that. Many of the people Jesus calls us to reach are kept away by any denomination name, in our case, Methodist. If this happens, we miss out on the opportunity to share his saving love for them. On my way, as I worked my way through this, I remembered a t-shirt that many of us have. Not me, but him. Not us, but them. My fear was that my personal desire might prevent even one lost soul from coming through our doors in search of Jesus and the salvation that he offers. I prayed beneath the cross in our sanctuary before our final vote on the recommendation for affiliation and the new name. I asked God to release me from my personal desires and wants and to guide me toward his will. As I entered the meeting, I was at peace. I invite each and every one of you to continue in your prayers and discernment in the coming months. I hope and pray you will arrive at the same peace that I found. So back to the name. I could go into all the technical reasons for the names we couldn't use, already taken, confusion with other denominations, websites taken, et cetera, but I think it's more important to consider why we chose this name. You know how in the fourth quarter of a football game, all the players hold up four fingers to signify it's our quarter, get it done? I'm changing that into 4 C's. Not the fourth quarter, but a fresh revival. 1, Chapin. That's where we live and worship. It's our location, it's our home. Christian, let there be no doubt, it is unashamedly who we are and who we belong to. 3, community. This is where we serve locally and to the ends of the earth. And 4, this is where we gather to worship, to be in fellowship with other Christians, and to deepen and enrich in our faith. More importantly, it's where we invite all who are in search of Jesus' love to come worship with us and to be welcomed by loving brothers and sisters in Christ who say, not our church, but His. It can be found here. More importantly, He can be found here. So Chapin Community Church, is that not who we are? So I am a Methodist, always have been. I can't change history. But I believe this church here in Chapin is where I can continue to worship in the Methodist and Wesleyan traditions and doctrines. This is my home. This is where I belong. I believe the roots of this church will remain a strong part of our ongoing mission and ministry. Our leadership, staff, and church remain the same to help people connect with Jesus and to bring individuals to Christ and to serve our God and our community through our prayers, our attendance, our gifts, and our service. Thank you.